Kia ora tātou. Greetings, everybody. I'm going to ask Councillor Rutini if she would open the meeting for us. Thank you.
Tātou, karakia te matanga, ki roto i te pepa, tahirua te rui pā. Ka pora te maringi hau, ka whake whakapai te wānaka, kei tātou te rai nei, aroha atu, aroha tātou i a tātou katoa, hui e
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Okay, we have no apologies, which is great. Welcome everybody here, and we appear to have no members of the public here. Staff, welcome people. Are there any conflicts of interest that relate specifically to this paper? Are there any new conflicts that anyone wants to put on the general register? No. Okay, thank you for that. I don't think there are any, I haven't heard about any acknowledgements or tributes, but if anybody has any, please let us know now. No? Okay, thank you. There is nobody registered for public participation. Okay, we have one piece of urgent business that I'd like to add to the agenda, and that is the proposed naming of a new right-of-way at 51 Wood Street, and that will become agenda item 8.4. And the reason is that the council was made aware of the application on the 1st of December 2025, did not prioritise it as the land in question does not have a new title. Council officers were not aware of the subdivision consent had a condition that required the road naming application before a new title was issued. Can't be delayed until the next meeting, as the application was lodged with council in July 25, and the applicant has been waiting a considerable length of time, and I will attest to the fact they have already put in the most beautiful concrete driveway. So I like past there frequently. So if you're all happy, we will add that to the agenda today. Thank you very much.
You need a second.
Yes, for that, I need a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Thanks, yeah. No, got that. Sorry. Okay, got that. Now, confirmation of minutes of the 20th of November. Would somebody like to move in second? I'll just pick somebody. Councillor Aspects and Councillor sorry, I've got you. Odds. Sorry. Pardon me. Okay, now we're all happy that these are true and correct record. Everybody's good. Thank you very much. Now we have item 8.1, which is the grants and funding policy and framework, which we talked through previously. Thank you very much, team. Appreciate the work you did on this. I'm assuming we're all reasonably happy with this because we did talk it through. Maybe we'll just go to questions. Has anybody got any questions on this? No? Okay.
Got some strange wording in one spot, but that's something we can sort out. Exactly.
The only thing is that I have asked the council if they would be happy if the guidelines or whatever we're calling them for the economic grants were delegated to the chair of our Economic Development Committee and the mayor, because in the interest of time, because we need to get these out to the public. And I don't think that's part of the resolution, but I think we'll just note that people seem to be generally happy with that.
Can it form part?
Part of the resolution?
It's part of
It's part of
part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amend that resolution. Okay.
So just amend, add
Yep.
additional one. So
Councillor. So nobody's got any other questions on this? Thank you for the work you've done on this. It's been really helpful, actually. It's a lot of clarity here and a lot of information for applicants too, which I think is really helpful. So hopefully it'll make your life easier too.
Thank you. I just want to note there is an amendment that'll need to change on page 6. I think
Okay.
it's still not standing in the.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you're right about that. Yeah,
I mean, I think let's just look at additional resolution, speaking to a workshop where we can redefine that criteria quite clearly for the Economic Development Fund would be a really good next step for that check. I believe is Chris.
That's correct, yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Any other questions or?
Just under the appendices on page 8, just ineligible applicants.
That's
I was just wondering if there was anything around businesses or companies being able to apply.
Historically, they were just for commercial objectives, but they will change based on the Economic Development Fund.
Oh.
So businesses are eligible. And social justice.
anything, any other questions or comments? So just noting that recommendation 5 is the intention to workshop, and we're suggesting that we actually delegate that to the two people, the mayor and the chair. If everyone's still happy with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it just a small typo, and I'll point that out to you afterwards.
Yeah, any typo.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
The same thing.
That's what I guess.
No?
Yeah, okay.
I think it would.
Thank you.
Amendment. I am the wording for the amendment.
Yeah, the amendment will be note the intention to delegate to the mayor and chair of the Economic Development Committee the approach to be used, recommended participatory grant making approach for the Economic Development Fund. Full stop. We'll do that earlier, hopefully. And the communication we just do at the time that suits. Okay. Okay, everybody, thank you for that, and thanks very much again, Lena. That was a lot of work on this, and it's actually quite important.
Nice and easy.
Kaboom, boom.
Aren't the only ones, I mean, we seem to be sole survivor. Mind you, that's this year money. Haven't decided on next year yet. Okay, now we have paper 8.2 message.
To move a second.
I thought we had councillor Taylor and Remover, and was that for the,
That's the previous one I didn't hear.
oh, sorry, mover and seconder for this one? Yes, I'll look at them all, just pick a name, yes, thank you very much.
Your name.
Councillor Bosley can move this and councillor Clark second it. Thank you. Okey-doke, moving on to rescinding delegation for leases. The papers. Yes. So, we'll get the CEO just to talk a little bit about this. I think it will be quicker for you just to.
Yeah, can do that.
And then we'll just move it and debate it. So we'll hear from the CEO first.
Okay, so we have a delegations policy and a register that has delegations to staff and the various parts of the legislation. Parts of those delegations were for the approval of new leases. What I'm recommending here is that we rescind those delegations and move all new leases to this table so that council approves all new leases and that we require 2 councillors to sign them, and that any rent increases or rights of renewal that exist in those terms can be signed by me, but they don't go any lower than that. We've had a few potential hiccups in the past with leases, so I want to bring this right up to this table so that you've got eyes on what's happening with the leases. We've also had a position title change, so rather than bringing the whole document to you with all the changes in it, I'm just seeking permission to change the title of the Manager Governance and Business Operations to Manager Corporate Support. And then we'll just replace them in all the delegations that they appear in.
Makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, we need a mover and a seconder.
Good to move.
Councillor Olds and Gillens, thank you. All those in favour, I against no. Well, motoring through, what's next?
Oh, jeez.
We asked, got off light, there we go.
What question?
Yeah, I just got a comment.
It's just gotta be faster than.
I know, you gotta be quicker than that. So the question is, for the chief executive, is just, how are renewals and rent reviews are recorded and reported back to council? That's the question. Secondly, in terms of the recommendations, number 5, I'm just wondering whether it should be approved, the amendments to require new leases to be signed on behalf of the South Wairarapa District Council by 2 councillors.
I think it's implied that it's on behalf, isn't it? I don't think that we.
I'm just thinking of the future changes coming up to things like the RMA where councils are attributable, and I wouldn't want to see 2 councillors
I don't.
take legal responsibility for something which is contested. That was all.
Okay, we don't want to have an argument about how many angels dance on the head of a
Yeah.
plate. But anything that we do here officially is on behalf of the council, I think.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to say it in every.
You'd be signing it as an elected member of
Yeah.
the council.
Yeah.
Signing it as a
Yourself.
little-
Yeah. The other one was,
Just how are the renewals
oh, yeah,
and rent reviews recorded and reported back to council?
It wouldn't necessarily be. So the original lease, when it comes to you, would be for example, a 3x3x3. So you would be signing a 9-year lease. The first year obviously is the first of the 3, and then there would be a rollover of the further 2 that I would sign off, but I can't go outside of those boundaries. And rent reviews are also identified in them as either CPI or by negotiation. So that would sit with me under those circumstances.
Okay, now, is there any other, oh, we have some more questions.
Thanks, Mayor. Mayor Friend. How many leases does council have at the moment? And is there an active, or are we only looking at them when they come up for renewal, or are they actively being reviewed?
So if they are in their renewal period, then that would fall to me. If we were, like I said, a 3x3x3, when we get to the end of the 9, then it comes back to this table. It becomes a new lease. So there's a range of leases that are in a range of processes at the moment and a range of steps. So
So
How many?
how many?
I don't know.
And are we sure that we're getting good returns for the land that we own and releasing?
Can't break the lease halfway through, councillor, so regardless of whether the return is good.
From I've just started the review process of all of the leases and licenses held by council. That's the job for us next year to tidy up that process. There currently is 82 or 85 from the spreadsheet I had a look at yesterday, and that includes licenses. So the plan is what to review as part of that. And part of that review that I'm completing will be essentially automating the requirements around when renewals are coming up, when reviews are coming up. So we are proactively making sure we're getting to those when we need to, and it will essentially just mean that that process should streamline into just happening, doing, then Janice signs, then it should be very natural.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Good thing to be doing, I think.
82, yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, we had a mover and a seconder. I can't remember who they were. Usual suspects. Thank you. All those in favour, aye, against, so carried.
Suspect. CSI.
Now we're going on to a letter that we want to write to the Local Government Commission, and just background for this is that I think you will understand, we've let you know what happened. We had a meeting of mayors and CEs from around the region, and Wairarapa mayors decided we would get information from the Local Government Commission and the Minister about timing and process, and that we would also ask for some assistance with the process. This is really just kicking off anything that's not going to be substantive in terms of an amalgamation process, but it's a public signal and a signal to the government that we're interested in doing this. which is quite important at this stage. So it's a fairly brief letter. Is there anything else you need to know? You've all read the letters. Few of those.
Yeah, just a few questions from me.
Yep, go for it.
It's a figure of 350,000 under considerations, this point of time, 350K is the equivalent. Does that mean that's the estimated cost?
No,
No.
we're just saying that 350K of cost equals 1% in rates.
It's just so they understand what a small budget we have and the
Yeah, it
tolerance
wasn't fair when
zero.
I
Yeah,
read that.
yeah.
Secondly, in terms of compliance, so you've got the compliance requirements, staff assessment. This is a matter of low significance. I'd dispute that.
Well, getting the information is a matter of low significance. So we
But the
haven't,
process
not
afterwards.
making a decision to do anything yet. We're just getting information from the local government commission, which arguably didn't even need to come to council, but it was a bit symbolic, frankly. But it is a matter of low significance in itself.
And the third one, just in terms of initial indications that iwi would be supportive of a discussion on amalgamation, that seems a bit of an assumption.
No, they've
No,
told us
they-
They've told you directly,
very strong
Yeah,
so we've got that.
they have both reviewed the letter.
and they're very supportive. Yeah.
Good. I wonder if we just need, for completeness, whether we just record that.
And
Yep.
we could,
It's just that
it'll come up.
when historically and when it takes effect and all these things were reviewed, it's like in the background, but just got on 25th November and the government issued a paper. Well, you can just actually put the reference into the paper in here so people can go in and see
Yeah.
what it was being referred to. It's just a completeness thing,
Yeah.
Janice.
Um,
Yep.
We have on record emails from both iwi supporting the letter being sent, so I don't think it needs to be in here. At the time this was written, we were seeking that confirmation, which we now have. And those emails are sitting in my inbox and the letter sits with Fran and myself to approve.
I don't think it's necessary to put the feedback loop, so.
All they've said is that this is an exploratory exercise only and they're fully
We're happy with the letter. Yeah.
That's it.
In fact, they are happy with a move towards amalgamation, but that's not what we're saying here.
Mhm.
Anything else?
I think, sorry, just capturing what the conversation is here at the moment. I think in the future, when we do have a paper that comes to us, we have that component in there that does cover off our conversations with iwi as we work through this process.
If when we get it.
I think once we get to the nitty-gritty, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So that of issue
Absolutely.
needs to cover that all, absolutely. But just FYI, they are very, and will help. It's great.
I mean, taking Rob's point, you just could put letters of support received and that's all, and then those letters of support.
Just make that it doesn't.
Be noted.
Just noted. Yeah.
Yeah, we can put that in a minute. Yeah. Okay. Have we got a mover and a seconder for this? Councillor Clark and Councillor Rickney. Thank you very much. All in favour, against, so carried.
I,
Now we have, those naming in the right of way. Yep. We onto that, but alrighty, you have it's quite a big paper and there's a lot of paper in it, but actually, basically, this is a time issue for this developer. And apparently the name chosen is consistent with policy. We probably need to look at the policy at some stage, actually. I think we do, but that's not for today.
We'll come back to council.
Yeah, yeah. So any questions on this one?
I mean, one is that they didn't provide 3 names, which is limiting. If you think that there's assumption that just one name goes through, that's my first point. If you ask for 3 names, provide 3 names. The second is that Rako, and I'm happy to be corrected, but when I looked it up into the archive, it has a macron above the A, and I think that the submitters should have taken the time to spell it correctly. And I guess my third question is, what does the policy say in terms of use of Māori language name being used in place naming?
It says, I think the current one, correct me if I'm wrong, is that we'd go to the Māori Standing Committee, as it used to be, and check with them, which would be difficult now. This is a time issue. Backgrounds are interesting because the NZGO board doesn't use any punctuation or anything like that, which actually creates some confusion in street names, but they're not allowed to use that, I understand. So on street signage, which is odd.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not in objection.
You know, this isn't a normal practice, I suppose,
We
and,
can't do this again.
yeah. And does, you know, do we have the responsibility to actually go back to the submitters and actually clarify those points with them? Even though they've had an application in since July,
It was our fault.
so.
So the point you would like to clarify is that they didn't give us three options. Councillor,
I'm just saying as a policy point, I'm not trying to be sticky, I'm just saying that.
that is the policy.
Yeah.
Yep.
The normal,
Councillor, and we, unfortunately, the error is ours because we've had this for several months now and
6 months.
haven't done anything about it for some reason. So
normal chain of events is that it goes to community board and this council normally
that's
endorses.
the current policy, but actually I think we might be looking at that. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but okay, the previous,
The policy is a bit messy. I was at a
Yes.
community board meeting prior to the election and that nobody seemed to know what the policy was. So
right,
you
okay,
need to get a policy that's clear and articulated well and people understand it. So
Yeah.
whatever it is, we're actually breaking the policy now because of the time.
yeah, sure, yeah, I understand that, yeah,
I'm comfortable with breaking the policy to get it across.
yeah, I agree, and I'm happy to second it at this stage.
Councillor Rutene, are you happy with this?
I'm happy because we've delayed and these people are held up. It's our fault. My preference is to let the name stand and go forward and not hold it up unless we can speed it up, like get approval.
We can't do it before Christmas. We never get it done before.
That was the reason for urgency today, to bring it to the table, because otherwise you're looking at February before you have another meeting. And they've already been, we just didn't understand the condition required the name before the title. We were waiting for the title, so this is our fault. We need to rectify that.
Chicken singing, councillor Rutene.
It's just that, this is setting kind of a precedence around, using Māori names and the process for that, and so, I'm not happy with that. Talking about timing, because of time pressures that we put on ourselves, is the applicants are expecting a decision before Christmas.
They're expecting an expedited outcome, yes, because they've been waiting for 6 months with this consent.
Is there a way of recognising this decision in the minutes that points out that it's out of process and therefore it doesn't set a precedent, or we're not about to let it set a precedent?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think it does create a precedent actually, councillor. I think it's just a mess up on our part and we have to own it. But I don't think we can ask the applicant to wait longer, which would be more than a month. It would be, like 2 months now. And they've been waiting for this for a long time. So we should have done it. This is all about making the council more efficient and more user friendly too. Councillor Bacon.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just thinking that if we're wanting to use Reo Māori, it needs to be correct.
Yep.
So it hasn't got a tohuto, it hasn't got a macron on it. They haven't taken the time to actually see that. I think it should have been submitted correctly in the first instance. Otherwise, we go to Tree Lane instead of using Rako Lane. That's just something that I
I don't think-
really
Yeah.
really you know, if we're using Te Reo, we should be using
I
it.
agree with that, but I'm not sure you can use a macron, correct me if I'm wrong, on
Or
a.
even you could double A it, use double A.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just think that when we start using and people don't understand it enough to be using a Māori name, then we just revert back to English.
Would you suggest that we actually tell them that if that's what the meaning of the name is for them, they should use the double A? Was that, I mean, would that be helpful?
Would that would be,
Because they can't use a macron, you're not allowed to use anything like that on the street sign, I think.
That's a good option.
The double,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a great idea.
except for with the double A.
Weird, because they've said enough now.
Those by alternate names, which makes it easier for us.
No, yeah.
But you've also got council.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe you can use a macron. So we're suggesting that if you can, that they use that,
Double A.
or a double A, would that work? That they have it correctly, at least for the meaning that they intend,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
we can do that. Okay,
So
Well, they're getting a response from the council, aren't they? They've been waiting for.
yeah, I
Just
mean,
saying, hey, get it right.
yeah,
I'd just like it to be noted that, you know, we've had processes in place for many a year. And like kind of flabbergasted that we haven't followed that in this case.
to be fair, we've not had an opportunity to do that with the change of council and the change of election and the change to the Maori Standards.
This is July.
Yeah, that's when they submitted the consent.
Yeah, so that's a long time, but July to October should have come to.
look, I think we've got to accept that there was some delay in the council. And that's unfortunate, and we should apologise for that. Question is, are we in a position to make a decision now, albeit with a condition, which is that the spelling is corrected either by using a macron or a double A? Whatever is appropriate and the GO board will accept. I don't know what the policy is. It seems to be different in different places.
And I'll just pick up on councillor Rachel's comment about not having two other alternatives other than the three names.
Sure, they haven't done that. But
Policy, and I'm just wondering if we're, I know it's been a delay and whether or not this could be presented back to us at our first available meeting in the new year. I don't know.
This is going to be a time problem for the subdivision, I understand, and it's just, the policy is, go for it.
Suggest that you consider an out of policy decision and approve, so that it's clear that this is out of policy. That then covers you for any precedent that may be being.
It's not a precedent.
It's just as it's an out of policy
Yeah.
decision and approve, and then we add noting the spelling is with a macron or a double A.
Yeah, whichever, I mean, maybe we can get some advice, but that can be out of, not at this table, we can ask you, yeah. We'll get some words along those.
So is that,
Consider an out of policy decision and approve. So that out of policy
So it's
decision,
noted that it's not within the policy.
yes, so I was just making sure, is it two separate?
no, you can amend to be
Consider an out of
the
policy
decision,
decision.
then and approve.
And approve the name.
Yeah.
And then after Greytown, comma, noting the spelling is with a macron or double A.
Yes.
It's a council decision. I saw the website. It's a council decision. Council decision as to whether you use macrons or not. Marva's done it.
I don't know whether we've got a policy, but if we're looking at the policy again, we need to decide that. So that'll be in consultation also with the new Māori Partnership Committee. But we've got a whole policy we need to look at.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's something we could just note, you know, to do, not in the resolution, but.
Yeah.
I mean, just,
Poverty.
I don't know that you need to note it, but for future reference, if it's with the criteria thing and your stringency around that, if you're asked for three, you should provide three, because then it hasn't given us alternates. So
Yeah.
just that stringency of process.
I agree with you, councillor. We've discussed that and we're going to note that it's an out of policy decision, that the process wasn't followed. And we should have got back to them early and said, actually, we need three options. And just, you'd have to decide how you're spelling it if you want it to mean something. But we didn't, so it's kind of our fault.
And also outline the internal process and timeframes around that.
We should have told them that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't, so I think we have to take this one on ourselves. So we've got an amended resolution there. Do you want it read out again? See what it is? Okay. No? You okay with it? Yeah. Okay. Moving to second. Thank you, councillor Baker. Councillor Ramsey. Thank you. All those in favour, aye. It's no carried. Now we have item 9.1, which is the terms of reference, acting arrangements, etc. Sorry, not happy for the naming of one of the right of ways there.
You're in the process of them followed.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, few things here, and this one, just before we start, we've got 3 new committees. And we have to appoint their deputy chairs, which we didn't have this, and we have an alternate on the Wairarapa Moana State Board, and we have the deputy mayor acting as mayor between Christmas and New Year. So we could go through these, and we've got the, community board terms of reference. Shall we go through, maybe get the recommendations moved so they're on the table? Thank you, Councillor Taylor, and seconded by Councillor Watson. Community board's terms of reference, which, look, we could still make these better and better, but at some stage we have to land this in. I'm suggesting we just go with this. Started. There's been a lot of work done by our community board. Oh, thank you very much for all the work you've done on this. Been a bit of a mission. So I think we'll just, is there any debate on these terms of reference? No. Okay, thanks everyone. Then we have the Economic Growth Committee, terms of reference, and the deputy chair moving, suggesting we put in Councillor Isaacs as the deputy chair. We just take that as an amendment to the paper. You all happy with that? Any questions on this terms of reference? You've all had them process.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Environmental Sustainability Committee, ditto, with Councillor Retinay as the deputy chair. And the Social Resilience Committee with Councillor Watson as the deputy chair. All right, everyone happy with that? Well, this is really amazing. Okay. Then part of the resolution is run out of paper, sorry. So next one.
Mara Partnership.
Sorry. Maori Partnership Committee, yeah. So we had some changes there because as the terms of reference were written, they could never be appointed. So it's a bit circular. So that's been changed. What else did we tidy up with that one? Functions. Thank you. Anyway, any questions on this one?
Is there a chair?
Sorry,
Maori Partnership.
Maori Partnership.
Who's the chair?
We don't know yet. That has to be appointed after the iwi and Marae appointees come on board. So it's all a bit circular.
Oh, sorry.
Yep, that's what happens. Okay. Rightio, we're going for that one. And then we've got, sorry, my papers I didn't properly organise for myself.
Taylor's acting mayor.
Next one. Acting mayor, no.
That's 0.3.
Yes, acting mayor. Thank you, Rob, for agreeing to do that. Staying here and can have most of that time off.
That hurricane.
In case you have to.
Cyclone.
That's true. And then also appointing the deputy mayor as alternate on the Waste Management Minimisation Plan Joint Committee. and Councillor Retinay as the alternate on the Wairarapa One Statutory Board.
Hmm.
Care to go with that?
Absolutely.
Right, we had this one moved and seconded, didn't we? So all in favour, aye, against, no, carried.
Right.
Now, we're going to have a resolution to exclude the public. So,
Because I was asking who moved and seconded it, and it was councillor Taylor and councillor Watson.
right. They were the unsuspecting. Got a resolution to exclude the public from the following parts of the proceedings. Do I read them, Lewis, or do you know
No,
what
you
it says? Do I have to read it?
No, you can just say, just move and second it.
Just, okay. Mover and seconder from, thank you, councillor Ellens and councillor Retinay. All those in favour, aye, against, no, carried.
Aye.
Right, public can now go. And off the